The highlands near the Mongolian border, where odd objects have been discovered throughout the years, are shown in the opening shot. Massive fossils of unknown species and bodies dating back thousands of years with their flesh still intact are among these discoveries. As the scene shifts to 1979, a scientist named Professor Yang Qialin puts together a unique team to look into the Kunlun Mountains. He's looking for further details regarding those intriguing findings. The next person we meet is Hu Bai, one of the numerous soldiers putting in a lot of effort at this excavation. Their frequent collapses to the ground from intense exertion give the impression that their task is extremely difficult. Fortunately, Yang Ping, a doctor who helps those in need, is the professor's daughter. According to Hu Bai's narration, he has a secret affection towards Ping and he feels like he has known her for a long time. Everyone is shocked when, after days of arduous work, the team discovers a massive skull. A little while later, there is a trembling in the cave, which intensifies into a massive explosion that destroys the entire camp. The armed men, led by Commander Han Juyang, sense danger and prepare for battle by positioning themselves outside the cave. Professor Yang and a few remaining employees are the only ones who have survived though. Han inquires as to whether anyone would like to explore the cave with the professor, as it seems that the explosion has created a passageway. Given the significant risk to their lives, the majority of soldiers are reluctant to take part, but Ping, being courageous, offers to assist her father right away in this endeavor. Hu Bai chooses to follow suit as a result, and his best friend Kang Sun decides to go too. Ultimately, a troop of troops is mustered to undertake this task. After that, the group departs for their objective and makes their way through the destroyed cave. They quickly descend a huge pit that they find themselves in. Eventually, they arrive at an icy platform where a passageway leads to a dimly lit subterranean area. Upon climbing it down, they find an uncharted cave stuffed to the brim with unusual fossils. They find an exit that takes them to the opposite side of the mountain, after some time spent aimlessly exploring the area. Professor Yang informs Hu Bai that there is a gate to an old kingdom nearby that is part of a pent secret government, based on local tales. The other troops make a startling finding on the snow: a massive paw print. This unexpectedly cuts short their talk. After that, the group begins to follow these paw prints without realizing that a massive beast is close by. They discover many things that resemble butterflies fluttering all around them as they travel. They notice, upon closer inspection, that they are strange-looking bats rather than butterflies. Unaware of the danger they represent, one soldier manages to take one with his own hands, which has an unforeseen consequence. He burns to death from a blue flame. After racing to his aid, two other troops meet the same end. A few seconds later, the crew is surrounded by hundreds of these bats, and they start shooting. The enormous beast nearby gets startled by the disturbance and flees, but as it moves suddenly, it causes an avalanche, which presents the gang with yet another obstacle. The soldiers start to flee in a frantic attempt to survive, but many of them end up dead. They are compelled to stop at one point due to an abyss in front of them. With no other option, the soldiers grab ropes in pairs and jump in. The rope that is binding Hu Bai and Ping becomes snagged on a chunk of ice as they descend, leaving the two hanging. Shortly afterward, the rope breaks, sending them plummeting into the shadows beneath. When Hu Bai awakens in the following scene, he is in Ping's arms. It is beyond his comprehension how he survived such a fall. There are now just 4 survivors left after this incident: Kang Sun, Professor Yang, Ping, and Hu Bai. The survivors then resume their excavation after gathering as much supplies as they can. They eventually discover a large cave with a towering structure in the middle of it. This location is identified by the professor as the Sacred Palace of Kunlun. The tower is claimed to contain 9 levels where demon monsters have been confined. After then, Professor Yang gets on his knees and lights a candle. Immediately, the fire produces a blaze that elicits a bat swarm to surround the tower. Then, he ignores Kang Sun's admonition and sends Hu Bai and Ping to the tower's entrance. The moment the two step together while holding hands, a bright light comes from an opening on top. Not long later, a multitude of spirits start to fill the cave. Kang Sun puts out the candle right away, blocking the whole thing, supposing they have unlocked the devil's gates. Sadly, this causes the cave to start collapsing, and the bats come back to attack them. Kang Sun senses the approaching danger and offers himself as a sacrifice to deflect the bats' attention so that the other members of the group can escape. The 3 of them find an escape route, but it's behind a waterfall and on a high ledge. The bats close in and begin to assault while they are deciding what to do next. A bat hits Hu Bai in the back as he tries to repel them with fire. Ping shoves him into the sea and jumps off with her father as soon as she sees the flames starting to emerge. After Hu Bai locates her underwater, a massive aquatic creature quickly separates them and takes her away. Following the incident, a devastated Hubei swims away and returns to the base. He receives medical attention for his wounds there, and Han tells him he is the only one who survived. A broken man, Hubei resolves to give up on everything and take a train home without telling anyone about the death of his loved ones. He meets Mr. Wang, his new boss, at the station, and he is given a job assignment as a librarian. He begins working there after that and has a quiet life after that. Unexpectedly, Hubei runs into his boyhood friend Kaishuan, an entertainer, one day while out for lunch at a neighborhood pub. He finds a book written by Professor Yang at work the next day. As he looks through it, he finds other items from the same demon tower, which leads him to believe the professor knew about it from the start. Finding the missing dots allows him to realize that only he and Ping are capable of activating the demon tower, which explains why Prof. Yang sent them in earlier. In the meantime, a coffin containing a live woman who resembles Ping is found by Commander Han and his squad. Shirley is the name they call her. The cops are forced to place this woman under strict observation in a room because of an uncontrollable, unexplained power she possesses. After 3 years, Han's group locates Professor Yang and transports him to their main office. At the same time, the mysterious huge animals invade Oil City in West China, wreaking havoc on the city. Upon discovering this, Prof. Yang conjectures that the activation of the tower has created portals in space and time, thereby permitting demonic beings to sneak onto Earth. The professor sneaks out of the military headquarters to look for deeper ideas. It seems that Hu Baiyi is also affected by the appearance of these demons, as his backscar starts to cause problems. One day, when he's reading in the library, he suddenly gets blue flames on his back and starts to show strange abilities. Both he and his pal can now create furniture that floats in midair. Soon later, Mr. Wang arrives and, strangely, appears quite composed in spite of the continuous chaos around him. Things return to normal after he seizes control of the situation swiftly. Mr. Wang answers that Hubei's blood is tainted by demonic force as a result of the previous bat attack when someone asks what's going on. He claims Hubei now possesses great power, but that power might damn him to damnation. As Hubei questions how he is able to know all of this, he turns the library into an ancient tomb using his own psychic abilities. At last, he makes his identity as Prince Yi's guardian from the Sulin country known. He continues by stating that Prince Yi, who led humanity against the demon species that had taken over Earth, was Hubei's predecessor. The majority of the demons were trapped inside the tower by Prince Yi, using his own body to seal it, but others took on human bodies. Since Hubei is the only one who can open the tower, these demons are now searching for him. Shirley seems to have regained her memory back at the military headquarters, and she unexpectedly says that she wants to meet Hubei. Han follows him and visits him at the library as a result, when he finds out about the woman who looks like Ping. The latter originally says he won't be joining the military again. After that, Kaishuan goes with the commander while Hubei stays behind. They follow Han to northern China, where he meets the group that will be searching for the professor. Wei Wei, Shirley, a young lady, Cheng Dong, a gentleman, and other troops make up the group. She goes by Shirley, but Hubei refers to her as Ping because she is so emotional when she sees Shirley. Before departing on their quest, the crew gets ready with weapons and supplies. They travel across the desert while mounted on camels. They are forced to flee for their lives when a sandstorm strikes them during one part of their trip. Kaishuin and 3 other members of the group are thus driven out of the group. While Kaishuan's squad is still deep in the desert, Hubei's troop has reached the ruins of Oil City after days of non-stop travel. Further dispersing in a last-ditch effort to save themselves, Kaishuan's gang is ambushed by demonic monsters. The monsters succeed in taking 2 lives, despite their best attempts, but Kaishuan and another man make it to Oil City and rejoin the rest of the group. Hubei advises them to leave after hearing of their encounter with the monsters in order to prevent a repeat of the massacre that occurred earlier in the cave. Chung and Shirley, however, make the decision to stay and finish their task. The sounds of demons approaching suddenly cut off their conversation. They consequently equip themselves and get ready to battle. Before pursuing the second beast, they quickly gun down the first one, but the first one's gone by the time they turn around. Hubei follows Shirley as she flees the fight and heads towards an abandoned school. When he gets inside, he finds a number of corpses dangling from the ceiling. Next, he discovers a tunnel that takes him to the prince's tomb. He gets assaulted by a beast shortly after, rendering him unconscious. The beast lunges at him, ready to devour him, but Shirley steps in and drives it away. She utilizes her abilities to place Hubei's body inside the coffin in an unexpected turn of events. As additional demonic creatures arrive on the scene, the group hides in the building's upper levels and uses rocket launchers and silver bullets to fight back. It becomes clear that the demons are extremely strong and that bullets cannot defeat them. Wei Wei, on the other hand, pretends as one of the mannequins and makes every effort to stay still in order to evade being discovered. She rushes towards Kaishuan as soon as the thing retreats. and the two shelter inside a bus. However, the beast finds them and starts assaulting the car. Hubai eventually regains consciousness and begins yelling for assistance. While he's doing it, he becomes confused when his arm wound heals quickly. The demonic tower-containing cave is where he is teleported to after that. There, he sees a creature that eventually becomes possessed by the demon queen drop Ping's body into a flame. Hubai comes up to her after the thing leaves and demands that Ping come back. But because Ping has the ability to open the tower, the queen is unwilling to give up on her body. Rather, she suggests that they go to the tower together and open the much-anticipated door. After some consideration, our hero graciously declines her request. He says he'll find a way, so he demands to be sent back to Oil Town. This amuses the demon queen, who chooses to give him another chance by teleporting him back. By this point, Shirley has taken control of every monster and is ordering them to eliminate the other members of the gang. As soon as he gets back, Hubai uses a rocket launcher to swiftly destroy the beast that is assaulting the bus alongside Kaishuan and Wei Wei. The other animals charge at him when they see this, but Shirley saves him since she knows he holds the key to opening the tower door. Then she cradles him in her arms and whispers that he will be okay. But Hubai pulls out a revolver and shoots Ping 3 times after realizing she won't be returning. The demonic tower collapses as a result, and all the creatures vanish. She acknowledges that only he has the ability to murder her with her last breath. Then, out of nowhere, she gives him a kiss before falling to the ground. Shirley changes into Ping a short while later, and she says she's happy to see him one more time. Hubai is still not prepared to lose her though. In the hopes that it might heal her, he carries her to the prince's casket. Reminiscences of her early years come flooding back as he lies down next to her and lightly touches her forehead with his own. It turned out that Ping was born with a magical talent, the capacity to bring the dead back to life. This clarifies Hubai's survival after plunging previously into the gloomy, deep abyss. For whatever reason, Ping's mother, however, prohibited her from employing these abilities. Her mother's death from burning in a blue fire one day revealed that she was descended from demons who had taken on human form. Ping asks Hubai to find her father and declares her unwavering love for him before the vision ends. This is her last act, and Hubai is devastated. He feels guilty for a time, but eventually gathers himself and chooses to grant her last request. As the film comes to a close, Hubai and the other team members are back on the mission. We really hope you enjoyed today's recap of Chronicles of the Ghostly Tribe. Please leave a comment below of what you loved about the movie and why. Be sure to like the video, and please don't forget to support our channel by subscribing so you don't miss any amazing content. Until next time, lights, camera, action. We look forward to seeing you in our next video.